Welcome back, class. Today, we're going to look at what I call gist statements or getting the gist. Now, understanding how to get the gist is important when it comes to summarizing a text as a whole. And what we're going to do today is we're going to look at getting the gist of just paragraphs using what I call bracket notation. All right? In bracket notation, when you just make a bracket around what you're getting the gist of, and then right here, putting that gist down. Now, the gist, to explain what the gist is, it's really just what's important. So it's what's important. Okay? And so if you can master the getting the gist process, it will help you to master later on summarizing as a whole, because then what you can do is take your gist statements from each paragraph and formulate them together to create a summary that is in fact in your own words. Now, what you're going to want to do, and what you need to understand, is that when you're getting the gist, you limit your gist statement. One to two sentences. All right? So you want to try and limit your gist statements down to one or two sentences. That way you're not just copying the text word for word. You're putting it in your own words in 1 to 2 sentences. All right? Now we're going to practice doing this with the article How Jackie Robinson Changed Baseball, written in 2017 by Jessica McBurney. All right? So, little information at the top here. Jackie Robinson was a professional baseball player and the first African American to play in the major leagues. This informational text discusses Robinson's life and accomplishments and the impact his role in baseball had on the civil rights movement. As you read, take note of the different ways that Jackie Robinson fought back against racial discrimination and segregation throughout his life. There's not really anything we need to get the gist of out of this. This is just telling you what the article is about. So you're going to get your gist statements from paragraph 1, which is here conveniently labeled 1. And that's where we're going to get our first gist statement. All right? Today, you may not be surprised to see an African American or Latino baseball player when you turn the TV to Major League Baseball. Maybe your favorite player is a person of color. But baseball has not always been as welcoming to diversity as it is now. In 1947, the famous Jackie Roosevelt Robinson became the first African American to play on a Major League Baseball team. The road he paved wasn't important, but difficult. All right? The first thing that we're going to want to do is, like I said, make that bracket. So you know, in your notations, you know what your gist statement is covering. So when you go back and you reread, you know that everything inside this bracket is what this one gist statement is covering. All right? So let's take what we just read and try to summarize it so that we can get, again, what is important out of this paragraph. And quite frankly, the main thing that we need to know out of this paragraph is that Jackie Robinson was the first African American to play Major League Baseball. So we put that right here in the side. Jackie Robinson boom. And what we've done is we've got this one paragraph in a single sentence. Jackie Robinson was the first African American to play Major League Baseball. And we've taken, now what we've done is we've taken this entire paragraph right here and we've taken out what's just as important. So if you get into a question at the end of the article that references paragraph 1 or asks you to reference the paragraph where mentioning that Jackie Robinson is the first African American to play baseball, all you got to do is go find the gist statement that goes with that, and you know which paragraph has the textual evidence that you need. So I'm going to scroll down in the article Which means I'm going to have to erase this part right here. And we're going to try to get the next paragraph. So, what you're going to see here are 3 paragraphs. All right, there's 3 paragraphs in the next section labeled Early Athletic Success. And you can see there's headings for the next one. What I would do here is, because some of these 2 paragraphs right here are kind of small, I would get a gist statement out of this paragraph up top. And then there's nothing wrong with combining 2 smaller paragraphs to get a gist statement. So you can sum this up right here. All right? Hopefully that makes sense. So, paragraph 1. Robinson was born in Georgia on January 31st, 1919. He was the youngest of 5 children. His father left the family just a year later, and his mother moved herself and her children to Pasadena, California. She worked odd jobs to support her family, but Robinson still grew up in relative poverty. All right. The gist statement that we need to get out of that. What's important out of that? Jackie Robinson was the youngest of 5. And grew up poor. There. We essentially kind of took what was important out of this and put it into one gist statement. So we took that whole paragraph. Jackie Robinson was the youngest of 5, which we have right here. And grew up poor. Grew up in relative poverty. All right? And so we've taken probably the two most important portions of that paragraph and put it into one gist statement over here on the side. So we go down into these next paragraphs. When Jackie enrolled in high school, his siblings encouraged him to get involved in school sports. He excelled in football, basketball, track, and baseball, and he broke many school records. Robinson continued to play all of these sports in junior college. Ironically, he viewed baseball as his weakest sport. He transferred to UCLA to complete his degree, where he became the first athlete to letter in all 4 of those sports. UCLA had some of the most racially integrated college sports teams at the time, but Robinson was still among a very small minority of non-white athletes on his team. So, 2 big paragraphs, or not 2 big, 2 little paragraphs that we're going to get one gist statement to fill out both of these. All right? So, simple enough. Jackie Robinson played 4 sports. And lettered in all 4 at UCLA. All right? So, what we've done here, the subparagraph, and before I continue on, what's important for you to notice is right here, letter has this number 2 in the corner. I don't know if you can see this. No, you can't see the color red. Has this little number 2 right here. That means that at the bottom of the article, there's an explanation of that word right here with the number 2. Okay? So, make sure you're paying attention to that. Now I got to get the article back where we had it so that it fit. Okay. So, we need to make sure that we go read that heading so that we understand what the meaning of the word letter is here, because it's obviously not a letter that you would write and put in the mail and send to somebody. So make sure that if you see those little headings, you go down to the bottom of that page and you see the definition. But we are able to take 3 paragraphs under the subheading Early Athletic Success and sum it up in 2 sentences. And as you continue on through this article, I want you to go through this process. Use the bracket notations and get the gist statements out of everything that's being said. Because our next step is going to be to take these gist statements and to write a summary of nonfiction text as a whole. Make sure to reach out to me if you need any help or assistance, and good luck.